Hey, it's Dave in the Cave. A brief explanation about this episode. Every time Dan goes on vacation, he pretty much shuts myself and Adam out in the cold like two dogs who have to stay in the yard till Daddy gets home. So that means no access to a studio, and our schedules usually don't coincide because last week we had to record a show, in a restaurant, and we almost came this close this week to recording an episode in a laundromat. But one thing being another, that didn't happen. So enjoy the best of Taco Tuesday. This reaches all the way back to one of the first episodes. Also, there's some guests in here. Aaron Haley shows up. The ladies from Radio Tatas are in here as well down toward the end. So enjoy it. It's the best of Taco Tuesday with Aaron, the Tatas, Dave, Adam, and Dan.
Welcome to Taco Tuesday, featuring Podcast Dan and Adam Wolf, where pop culture meets straight-up chaos as two guys dissect the latest tech news, comedy, and the art of music in ways only they know how to. Welcoming the hosts of Taco Tuesday, here's Podcast Dan and Adam Wolf.
And you and I are really going to have some we're going to be simplicado on this, and that's because of our military service. And when you go overseas, like I did for three times, almost 10 years in Europe, and then, of course, I did a year in Bosnia and a year in Iraq, over time, you've got these big gaps in your life, right? And you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
You get AFN, you get the radio and the TV, and they're always behind, right?
Yeah. And a good example is when I was in Belgium for 3 years, came back, I was at BNOC, and these people...
Which is what? What is...
BNOC is Basic Non-Commissioned Officers Course. It's where you go to school to be a higher level NCO,
sure.
Not the highest level, but kind of a mid-range manager type position. And these people that were in our class told me to watch this movie called Grandma's Boy, which is, my opinion, a hilarious stoner movie. And I watched it, and at first I assumed it was just a direct to DVD movie because I'd never heard of it. Well, it turns out that it had come out while I was overseas in Belgium or Iraq or one of those places. So I'd never, they'd seen commercials. It was a flop in the theaters. And that's a perfect example of that time gap, TV shows. Although it's getting a lot better as far as TV shows are only a few months or maybe a season behind. Whereas when we were over there in the old days, it was, you might get last year's shows if you were lucky.
Yeah. Sometimes maybe, it was a couple of years.
Yeah.
So they were talking about the firm. And this is one of the songs, Radioactive, in the background. And this is a super group, man. The Firm, look, one of my favorite of all-time bands continues to be Led Zeppelin. And who?
No,
not the Who. Not Roger Daltrey. So The Firm is a super group. And, I've heard the song, and of course I heard the name The Firm. But all these guys were freaking huge. And on the drums, Jimmy fucking Page. Mm-hmm. Now, Jimmy Page, I think he started the Yardbirds, but he obviously was
He played the drums in this band?
Nice try. So, no, he didn't.
You just said he played on the drums.
Did I? Did
yes.
I say it? On the guitar? Man.
I thought he was like
Dave
Grohl, because he plays guitar and drums.
Good call.
And sings.
Yeah.
My bad.
Sorry, my brain working outside of its limits again, like normal. So, I heard on the radio show that Jimmy Page was in it. I'm like, what the fuck? I had to go back and look and see that Jimmy Page is a part of the Firm. Now, they did a few songs, not a ton of them, I don't think, that were popular. Of course, that was one of them. I think Satisfaction Guaranteed was one as well. But Jimmy Page was fucking huge in my mind, and he has got to be the best axe man out there. I mean, there is... Dave Grohl is pretty good as well. There are some... There's a lot of guitar players that I really enjoy, but I really think of him as the best. And something that I missed, so this was 1985, I guess. I'm in the Army, I'm overseas. Another thing that I missed was, I talked about it on another podcast, is the
Cheech Marin?
is Black Crowes.
Black Crowes.
And I told you my story about the Black Crowes. And I had a Discman in Iraq, and I had one CD. And when I want to blow off steam, I'd exercise. And I listened to Black Crowes, Shake Your Moneymaker, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That was my workout. So I just loved. Well, I found
some people that might be hell.
I know it is. We all got our own taste, right?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Well, I like the Black Crowes. I'm just saying, some people, even just having to listen to one CD for a whole year.
Well, they got a song called Blackberry, and I'm a Blackberry holdout, so it's anyway. No, they had Jimmy Page up on stage with them in a live concert. That is the most, to me, is one of the most. It's the closest to Led Zeppelin that I've seen in a long time, and I've watched those videos over and over and over again, and it's fucking awesome how great they sound. And the lead singer's Chris. What's Chris's last name? Help me out there. You don't
lead singer of
Black Crowes.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah. So
Chris Black Crowes.
Yeah. So, but then as I'm spinning
Robinson.
off. Yeah, thank you, Chris Robinson, and I should know that. So I spin off, and that's when I see Dave Grohl and his band, the Foo Fighters. They also got Jimmy fucking Page on there.
I saw a video where they're at Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they got Jimmy Page and the... was it the drum? I think they also brought not the drummer because he's dead. The bass player maybe was there too. I don't know. There was two famous people besides one, Jimmy Page and the other.
So I'm going back to your conversation about missing things, and the Black Crowes with Jimmy Page was live at the Greek, and some of the songs. I mean, you can't even imagine how close. Look, you got here's one right here, 10 Years Gone, which is such a freaking great song. You can't imagine, in my mind, again, I'm a big fan. Big is relative. I don't study all the liner notes, and it's the music that I enjoy. And this is so fucking... This could be Led Zeppelin. I mean, this so much can be Led Zeppelin. And so it's the things that I missed. The things in my life. I missed things in my life. This happened... I don't even fucking know when this was done, man. When they recorded this... I'd have loved to. I would have sold my nuts to go see this concert. That's the bottom line. I would have done all I could to go see this.
So this is Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes?
Yeah. I mean, this is such kick-ass music right here. I can't imagine being allowed to go to a concert. I'm blowing the fucking mic up. Sorry, guys. I can't imagine being allowed to go to a concert. I'd be fucking bawling. Like I would be. I told you about my Black Crowes experience. I was standing in the rain. Remember, that's how the story went. Mm-hmm. I was standing in the rain crying while the Black Crowes were playing a few of my most favorite songs. And when music gets down to your soul, that's how some of this music is to me.
As it was, then again it will be. The course may change sometimes. Rivers always reach the sea.
You think Jimmy Page's voice is probably gone, and they inducted them into the Hall of Fame just a couple of years ago. And also another video worth watching. They actually created a movie because they went on. They kind of did a tour after that, a concert, one-time concert. It wasn't for that. It was for a Jewish gentleman who had died, and he was very influential in their career. And they went out and did a
Jesus.
Thanks for bringing some levity back to the pocket. No, it's okay. So the Black Crowes did just every one of, it's got to be the top 20 Led Zeppelin songs they sing. And so you got Jimmy Page in the background fucking shredding the guitar. And then you got Chris Robinson, who's got the voice. I always thought, that's what I liked about them. From the earliest is they sound a lot like Zeppelin, I thought, or at least Chris Robinson's voice. It does remind me of Robert Plant's. And so this is just a perfect combination because you're not going to get Led Zeppelin of 1978.
Oh, no. Because as singers get older, their voices change. So that, the Mutual radio show we listen to, they talk about the Ozzy Osbourne concert where his singing ability has definitely decreased lately. And for a lot of bands, for example, the Doors, they were touring around with I can't remember. Oh, they were the guy from the Cult. The lead singer of the Cult was touring with the Doors, and his voice sounds pretty similar to Paul Rodgers, who was also in The Firm to bring it all back together. He toured with Queen for a while. So, I mean, I guess that gives an opportunity for those of us who weren't able to go to a Led Zeppelin concert, for example, to get a part of that experience. It's pretty interesting.
It is. So there's Dave Grohl.
Thank you very much. You guys fucking rule.
If you ain't heard, I don't know if you. I mean, I can get lost in these. Friday nights is video night for me, and I'll sit and my wife will be watching TV, and I'll call up YouTube and follow my own wormholes and put on my headphones. But this one here, again, another great song by Led Zeppelin, and he brings up. He's got Jimmy Page on the stage, and he brings up John Paul Jones. And you got half the fucking Led Zeppelin, and Grohl can fucking rock. Now, you know, it was just in the. We talked about this a couple podcasts ago. Pete, Kiss guy,
Gene Simmons.
Thank you. Here's Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons says rock and roll's dead. Remember, but you look at Dave Grohl, and I know this is a little older, but there's still Dave Grohl's out there.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of people fucking rocking. And, so he brings up half a Led Zeppelin, 3/4 of the remaining, anyway, and they come up and you're going to hear this in a minute, but, man, they just fucking rock. And this is the kind of stuff that just gets me down way deep and really makes me enjoy the music that's out there these days. It's okay. You can talk over.
I didn't know if it was going to start playing. I was waiting.
Yeah, well, me too. I'm on the iPad here, so I can. Let me see if I can jump ahead.
I know. One thing I like about I've been a huge Foo Fighters fan since the first album. I think came out in 94, 95. And one thing I like about Dave Grohl is that he's a rocker, but they're not like the super heavy, gloomy death stuff or whatever. It's like feel good. It still rocks pretty heavy, most of their stuff, and I don't know. It's one of my favorite bands.
On the tribute album by Zeppelin, what was left. What was best about that? Have you seen that one? The tribute?
I think it was called like Iconium or something like that. There was other bands doing Led Zeppelin songs like.
Well, that was actually the induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
No.
Okay. This was an
mixed
older
two
album.
things.
Yeah.
No, this is relatively new.
Okay, so we're talking about two different things.
Two different things, exactly. And it was my fault. I started on their induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But what they did, that's not what happened. It was a very influential man died, and they came together.
Jesus.
Awesome. So they came together to tribute Jesus, and so it was all of the living members of Led Zeppelin and John Bonham's son.
Oh, wow.
On the fucking drums.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then they made a movie on it, and that was the last. I wanted to go see the movie. It played here in Belton at the Beltonian. It was a midnight showing. I couldn't get my wife to go, but my schedule got screwed up and I wasn't able to go. But I've since watched the videos of it, and it is fucking outstanding. It is a great. It's a great segment. It's a great show. It's as close. That's with the original team though.
Yeah.
And so Jimmy Page, even though I said he can't rock like he did in the 70s and 80s, they did a fucking fantastic show. Okay, so there's my music chunk. Even though I got a little humor. I'm still pissed off about my network, by the way.
Yeah, I can tell.
My tower.
You're off your game today.
I catch you. It's just I don't have that energy. The only energy I had was talking about the fucked up network. So you can tell what got me going.
But is your server better now?
Yeah, my server's fine.
Awesome. Okay.
Well, what about you? Any? Is there music like that to you? That is there a song? Besides Bette Midler, that you would stand in the rain to listen to the band sing, and you would sit down there and cry like a baby, like a fucking baby?
I don't think so. They're, and it's going to sound kind of cheesy, but when I was in Korea,
That's cheesy.
No, I mean the entire story, not just that part.
Okay.
I was in Korea, and I DJ'd at this bar, and it's not like DJing like mixing. It was for
So
alcohol.
you were scratching and you're sampling.
Yeah,
and,
I was the fourth member of Run DMC. No, but, it was just changing CDs or records or whatever. And the owner of the bar had owned the bar since like Vietnam, and he would play certain songs like "Good Night Saigon" from Billy Joel, and it's cheesy as hell, but sometimes like I'll listen to that song and it'll kind of get me choked up or whatever. Not the song or even Billy Joel, but just the concept behind the song, which kind of it irritates me that he wrote that awesome song and then he never even went to Vietnam. Yeah. So he's like, but I guess he's writing it for his. But there really isn't. When I was in high school, I was a big fan of the band Danzig, which now looking back, it's kind of embarrassing. But back then they were badass.
There's another one. So now we've got Insane Clown Posse and Danzig as reference points.
Well,
for you,
I was never a huge. I had some of their CDs. I was never a huge.
Look,
Insane
if you
Clown
download it,
but I was a huge Danzig
song,
fan.
okay.
And I went to their concert, and we stood in line just to get the early good seats. But I can't think of any band. I think just because I hate people and being around large groups of people and the hassle, the live event, like the excitement and the shine of a live event is kind of worn off. I guess I'm getting older and grumpier.
I think, as you go through life, at least for me, and I've seen it in other people, you get kind of sensitive a little older. Certain things make you make you feel a little sentimental. You start thinking back, and I don't know, there's maybe 10 years difference between us. So in hindsight, when you look back, you may find there's some things, and for me, it's music and kids, little kids, seeing little kids, and puppies and Melissa Etheridge song in the background or something.
No, that's Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking care. That's obviously. There comes Kevin Meaney out in me.
Really,
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't fucking
Must be really touching for you. You can't even remember her name or the song.
Yeah, so, I give a shit.
Oh my fucking son of a! Oh my God! Oh God! Look at the dick waves you just. Oh God! Oh.
Hey, speaking of radio, this is probably
for the hard of hearing.
So
that's what an aneurysm feels like.
Song of the week. I like that because you guys know I'm always fiddling around over here, so you never know what I'm doing.
Yeah, just like you never know when Dan's gonna go off.
I don't know if you saw that, but we pegged the meter.
We didn't see it, but we felt it.
I can't actually hear anything you guys are saying. I'm just smiling and nodding.
I think I had my period. I'm actually menstruating right now.
Well, I think we're all in sync now. So
someone get me a tampon.
Mine must be starting here.
That sounds funny if I said it in a southern accent. Someone get me a tampon. I think I've started my menstrual period. That sounds like the Renaissance or something like that.
Get a tampon at the AlexJonesInfowars.com gift shop.
The whole menstrual thing's a black flag operation.
It's a survival tampon.
Powdered tampons.
Just add water.
Just add water.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to rein you guys back in for this.
Oh, wow.
Of course, the audience says, "No, let him go, you dummy. That's podcast gold."
Podcast gold. I say.
One more foghorn leghorn.
Someone
reference.
bring me some tampons.
When the government destroys currency, the only thing of value will be podcast gold
and tampons. The tampon market.
So we got Yosemite Sam and Alex Jones in the same studio.
Did I go full Yosemite Sam?
You did.
Oh, no. I shook my headphones off.
Episode number 43. Special guest Alex Jones and Yosemite Sam.
And various yelling Southern gentlemen.
Well,
if it's Southern and yelling, I can do it.
I can do it.
I say I can do it.
I say, boy. I say.
Oh, easy there. Easy, Dan. You're going on 12 Years a Slave on us. Dan Elder, the one-man show of 12 Years a Slave.
Speaking of black guys.
Speaking of black guys, my song of the week is...
by a black guy.
By a black guy.
Please be by a black guy.
Actually, I want to show mine just because. You got it. No,
he's gonna show it to us, and we're gonna give him a reach around.
Yeah, so I was going through security, and I got randomly selected for secondary screening. I was kind of pissed off because I was running late for a plane, and
Cavity search.
Yeah, if it was only that way. So they pulled me off to the side,
With the optional reach around.
And after he got done with his search, I was kind of torqued off, and so I went up to get my bag, and my bag wasn't on the conveyor belt. I looked over; it was behind the glass.
Oh no!
So the same guy, he says, "Sir, is this your bag?" And I says, "It is." And he says, "Okay, well, we need to do secondary screening on it."
Oh.
So he pulled the bag apart, just total shit everywhere, and I'm not very happy. And I'm kind of cursing at him. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck's going on here? I just got done getting screened. Now my bag's getting screened.
Yeah.
And I realized this guy was looking at me. It's like, wait a minute. I have like 10 minutes to get to my plane. They're boarding in 10 minutes, and I still have to get to the terminal.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he can really delay this and make it really painful for me for my day. So,
Yeah.
So he found a little bottle of lube, of shaving lotion.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, have you heard of Dollar Shave Club? But I guess you probably have.
I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he's not a member. Neither am I.
So I signed for a Dollar Shave Club, and I get razors. If you go to the grocery store to buy a pack of 5 razors these days.
Slice your face all to 7 ways a Sunday.
And it's $10 for 5 razor blades.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So Dollar Shave Club, go to dollarshaveclub.com.
Is this a sponsor?
You can buy razors. I wish it was. You can buy razors, and they'll mail them to you, a pack a month, every other month, every 3 months. But they've got this cool lube, kind of this face stuff. It's not a cream. It's more like it's a cream. It's not a shaving cream. It's more like just a lotion.
Yeah.
And you put it on your face, and then it kind of numbs up your face.
Yeah.
It gets all tingly.
Yeah, and you thought to yourself, if it works on my face.
So did the TSA agent buy that crappy story about why you have that thing of lube in your
It's a big old jug of lube.
Yeah.
So that was my story.
Wow.
And he took it from me.
Yeah. The lube?
Yeah, I think he wanted
He
to
took
test
your
it out.
lube?
He took
Right now there's a TSA agent somewhere with a numb penis. This lube isn't working right. I can't feel nothing. Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that was my week. I was
Story train to Nowheresville.
navigating the highways and byways and airports.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm always envious of your world travel. Always want to be like Dan. Go places, see
you're
things.
doing it.
Did you have to stop like at a Walgreens or CVS to replace your
No, I don't know.
shaving lube?
Air quotes.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. I haven't yet. I was thinking about that today. I got another trip next week.
You're lubeless right now.
I am lubeless. I am without a lube. This song came up, and I started thinking about that era. And if you remember on the radio show we listened to, they were talking about 1984. Rolling Stones had said that was maybe the best year ever in music. And so they started playing the top 100 songs of 84. And so I started thinking about the same thing when I heard this song. And do you have any recollections of this genre of music? And it's not rock and roll, but it was kind of, I don't even know what bucket to put it in. This is like Breakfast Club kind of stuff.
In my opinion, this is almost borderline like new wave type.
Yeah. Kind of an English, an English feel to it.
It's kind of like a Cure type feel.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it has a little bit of electronic or if
electronics. Yeah, no, you're right. I think there's got to be electronic sounds or synthesizers, and people were feeling out MIDI. And how far back does your recollection in music technology?
Don't be shit talking the Cure.
Are you a lot younger than us, Aaron?
No, I think we're about the same age.
In your mid-30s. Yeah. Okay.
I think this it kind of almost reminds me more. I think because at that age is sort of like semi-skate music, or I don't know.
And now a backwards skate. Ladies, pick your men. You talking about that kind of skate? Or you talking skateboards? Were you a skateboarder?
No.
You didn't,
Like at the skating rink.
4-wheel skates.
I think every kid. That's kind of a thing. I mean, who didn't go to the skate park? Or
I did not. We didn't have a skating rink. I'm sure there were in El Paso, but not close where I lived.
Yeah.
I never really got into it.
Wow, that just seems like maybe for my roots. I mean, every kid went to the skating rink.
I grew up next to a military base, and so you could either go play soccer or you could go to the skate park. That was
Bowl. There's a lot of bowling in the military.
That's true, bowling.
So, do you have any recollections of this kind of era, this kind of genre of music? Because I'm thinking this is about your age. This is you come of age, I would think, during this era.
See, I do have a lot of songs that I like from this era that, but I didn't really listen to them until later on. Like,
yeah, I mean,
when I was in high school.
what do you think that age is? That, you know, there's a lot of those things where you talk about the magical age of when you remember things, when you recollect movies. Like, I think at this age, when I was sort of like 7 to 10, that's when a lot of those movies that I love now, I think that was that time frame for those. You know, the beginning of Star Wars and some other E.T. and all those types of things. I'm curious with music what that age is. I mean, it's probably a little later, right? It's almost more into your teens.
I think so. I think when music is background noise, I think when you're young, in my opinion.
It's your parents' background.
It's your parent background. When you discover your own, when you
that's
are in
when
charge,
you fall in love with
that's
that.
when I think you fall in love with it. What do you think, Adam?
I agree. I think when you start getting old enough to, you know, to have, like, of course, nowadays,
when you got your first hi-fi.
Yeah, nowadays you have YouTube and all that, so kids are able to get whatever music they want whenever they want. But when you get your first little stereo to have in your room, and you can tune it to whatever radio station you want to listen to, probably middle school, high school. This, according to the Wikipedias, came out in 1983. So I was a little young for this song when it came out.
Wow!
I do remember it from I think it was a car commercial recently.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a commercial with this song on it, probably Old Navy or some crap like that. Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's the funny thing is that it's, the reason the other radio show that we were talking about is actually why I started listening to that. Is I got my first radio in a vehicle and was could turn it to whatever channel you wanted to. I didn't have to listen to whatever it was, and that's what I chose to turn to.
It's the Dudley and Bob show coming out of Austin. If you want to give it a listen, it's a great.
I was talking about Bob and Tom.
Oh, I thought you meant the Bobby Bones show.
Yeah, the Bobby Bones.
He wasn't alive then.
Yeah.
Let me give you another one that may catch you up a little bit on the era. If you think about it, I don't know if you listen to the B-52s any.
What year was this? Because I think this was a few years later than that.
I think
right?
this is one of their later.
It's the 80s, though, is when I was kind of picking the 80s.
I think it's later 80s because I actually do remember this as being something I listened to.
They were kind of a cute little band. They did Rock Lobster. They kind of dressed old-timey. And
they had a 50s kind of vibe.
Yeah, they did.
Ladies had big
tunes.
hair, or 60s, I guess. Yeah,
Big hair.
like this. Huh?
Yeah.
I thought they were fun. This is when music was fun. Remember, I was in my teens was the disco era. So my first radio that I had, AM was what I listened to. I built my first radio. That's true. They had home
out of a coconut.
The professor, they call me. They have, they still do have transistor radios, crystal radios. And I had bought a kit from Radio Shack and brought it home, and I built it and strung the antenna out in the backyard. Almost strangled my dad. I didn't tell him I did it. About neck high. He was walking to the backyard, and I got hung up on it. And God damn it, Andy, what'd you do? But I built a transistor radio, and but it was AM radio, and this was kind of FM. But I was coming out of the nation was coming out of the thing we call the disco era, and you wanted some other kind of music, and this was kind of fun. This was kind of fun music, I think.
They were almost like a novelty act that broke out. I mean, they weren't huge like mainstream, but it was almost the fact that they were that old retro kind of look and feel. And then they did that kind of horrible song with REM.
Which one?
Isn't that Stand in the Place?
Were they in that?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it? You're not an REM fan, I take it?
Oh, no, I like the REM. But, Shiny Happy People.
Okay,
that's the one they did. Okay, that's what it was.
That's better.
Yeah, that's not it's not their best song, let's put it that way.
Yeah, so I got your sliders up. Go ahead and hit me with something that you... Of course, Aaron's sitting over there with no technology.
Well, if he wants to jump over here or write me a note.
He'll write you a note, all right.
I can hold my phone up to the microphone.
It's true. Got a little turn down for what, for us?
Just give me 1 second.
Okay, there's a band that when you're done that I'm going to bring up, one that I really like and has some good music, so I'm kind of teasing it for you.
All right, so when I was in high school, I played football freshman, senior year. This is early 90s, and I got a ride with one of the trainers because she lived close to my house.
Oh, I bet you did.
And her and her friend that I would ride with used to listen to the new wave type of stuff. And this is a song that it used to be a song I was kind of embarrassed to like because of the whole machismo thing, but now I've kind of embraced it. This is a band called OMD, and the song is "If You Leave," and it's one of those songs that kind of reminds you of a certain time period. More as like I wouldn't be sitting in my house listening to this, but it brings back a lot of memories like we were talking about, So
I know the song.
Yeah, I think it was on the Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack. If you're a big movie fan,
I'm not, but I know it, and I've seen the show. That's OMD. What's it stand for? Is that
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark? I think they're one of those British bands that try to be fancy. I've been waiting for, and we haven't gotten this comment yet, but you call movies shows. It doesn't bother me. I notice it every time, but I'm just waiting for somebody to. This is what, the 8th episode?
He's from the disco era.
I've been waiting for somebody to say, Dan, they're movies, not shows, but nobody has.
we get no feedback. Yeah. We get none.
I don't think nobody listens to this.
We were talking off the air. Adam, didn't you say that you were a big Right Said Fred fan?
Yes, because I am, in fact, too sexy for my shirt.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of like a Kaja Goo kind of sound.
Yeah, it's definitely, this is hardcore new wave, especially a lot of those bands were British, The Cure, Pet Shop Boys, all that. Like I said, there was a time period where I would have been too embarrassed to play this.
Oh yeah,
but I've embraced.
I think those are the best ones.
Yeah,
when they come back to you. Well, here's one. Let me see if you know this band. They got some really good music, I think. And there's one that I was looking on my thing, and I might have it in the stream, but. Once in a Lifetime. The song that I was looking for was Once in a Lifetime by Talking Heads. And I like it. Where's my beautiful house? Where's my beautiful car? The video was... Because what was good about this kind of era, too, is MTV was just coming about. And it was still new in its infancy, and it actually was relevant and mattered back then. And... the video was David Byrne, I think that's how you say his name, and he's standing up and he's kind of jerking around in the video, and he's doing this little thing with his hand. Yeah, yep. It was really strange, really kind of out there, but I like the song. But then I saw this one here, and actually I like this song better than I like the song Once in a Lifetime, but I like the video Once in a Lifetime. So, any Talking Heads?
There was I was stationed in Korea, and not the song you're talking about, but I was in the signal unit. We had what's called retrans, because there's a mountainous. Korea's got mountains everywhere, so you had a group of people that would go up on top of a mountain, set up an antenna, so when you're talking on your radio, it'd shoot to that antenna and then shoot back down. Yeah. It's cold as hell in Korea, and this retrans squad or whatever borrowed a construction worker's oil lamp or something for heat and set their tent on fire. So
typical soldiers.
It was a running joke of singing the Talking Heads "Burning Down the House" song whenever we'd see them, and they did not like that. So yeah, there are some good memories. It's one thing I love about music is a lot of different songs will bring up a lot of memories. Yeah.
So we talk about it all the time too. What about? Did you find a wormhole? I'm trying to get in a wormhole now. I think I figured out my technology. So did you have a follow up to your last one that you wanted to highlight?
So now are we going to the last one?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. I don't care.
Are we sticking with the? Oh yeah, if you want to, just let me know if you want to pick a song, man.
He just wants to talk shit about our music, I think, is his plan.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good plan.
He's just like Matt Bearden from that other show.
No, I don't know. I think when I kind of first started getting into music, I listened, much like Matt Bearden probably, a bunch of sort of like really crappy, shitty emo, feel sorry for yourself stuff. So I was a big Cure and Smiths fan. So it's always a really big How Soon Is Now, which is not really representative of most of their stuff, and is probably not most people's famous Smiths song, but it was definitely one of my favorite songs at the time. Just kind of listened to over and over again, and consider throwing myself out the window because I was so horribly depressed to not have any responsibilities or worries or concerns at that age.
Man, yeah, I missed that whole emo thing. So I never wore a black trench coat or put eyeliner on or none of that shit.
Yeah, I think that was really getting big because middle school and starting high school in the late 80s, and there were people that would there was one guy I remember when I was in Germany, my dad was stationed in Germany, we'd have to ride the bus to school, and he was a Robert Smith from the Cure clone. He had the big hair all disheveled, and he wore the makeup every day and all black and the nail polish.
Mecca just got wet when you talked about that.
It was kind of, at that time, at such a young age, and you didn't really see, like, you saw people on TV dressed like that, but you never really saw a person in person dressed like that, especially in the military. Usually Army dads and moms are a little more strict. It was a little shocking to see that.
I was in Germany 82, 83, and then I think it was like 87, 89. So, as you can imagine, in Europe, I think they were much more liberal, and quite often seeing people walking around spiky hair and nose jewelry and just really, colors, all the body paint, body makeup, in the mid 80s, it was just kind of unusual. So, I guess I was shocked early on, and then when it came to the U.S., I think they lit it. Maybe it's because I was there, but it seemed to come over across the pond. And
yeah, because the punk in the U.S. started with like the Ramones and stuff, and they didn't have. I mean, they were more kind of a greaser's leather jacket kind of look with long hair.
Oh yeah, and they were underground too.
Yeah, it wasn't until the European style punk with the long, the mohawks and
it went more mainstream. I mean, there was. I think punk was more underground, at least in my recollection. And I never listened to it, and but I was a heavy metal. I was a rock and roll guy. So I don't know. It was more mainstream when the European new wave. It seemed to be more mainstream to me.
And now you have people like Avril Lavigne and Blink-182 calling themselves punk, and that's just depressing.
All right, so cue it up. What do you got?
So the question is are we sticking with a certain genre, or is it any 80s music?
Adam's confused about the rules.
I just want to make sure.
There are no rules.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do on your side of the screen, man.
So we talked about when you first get your first personal music device that you control. And back when I bought my first, I think I probably got the Walkman for Christmas or something. It was a big, bulky Walkman that played cassette tapes. And I bought this tape. It was the very first music that I bought with my allowance. My parents bought it basically, but it's you'll recognize it, I think.
Now, Paul Abdul?
No.
Aaron's smiling. He knows it.
Parents all the same, no matter.
Oh, man.
So,
yeah, that's Fresh Prince.
Actually, Will Smith was cool.
Yeah. Parents just don't understand.
And back at that time, my dad was in the Army. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, so we didn't have a lot of money. And cassette tapes, even though they were probably only $8 or $9 back then, that was, with inflation back then, that was still quite a bit of money. So you'd buy a tape and listen to it 500 times.
Wow. Yeah.
So this brings back a lot of memories because we do road trips. Like we were stationed in Bamberg for a little while, and then Grafenwehr, a little tiny post with a little tiny PX. So we take road trips to Nuremberg where the big PX was, and I have a lot of memories sitting in the back of a van listening to this tape.
Wow, this is kind of almost novelty song,
Yeah, he was
a novelty song.
Really young at the time, and a lot of his songs were, about parents and girl. Like, he's a high school.
Sure.
I don't know if he was still in high school at the time, but it was about stuff young kids. I think that's part of the reason I liked it so much. Plus, it was accessible. No, gangster rap really hadn't come out yet.
Oh yeah, there was such a thing. It wasn't even really rap at the time. I don't think he was talky, but I don't think I call this rap.
How dare you? Will Smith is one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Hey, I grew up on Vanilla Ice, so I actually thought it was cool. Okay, so I Talk about the story.
Okay. The story is that I Dan and I were sitting here. I started telling my 2-minute story about Billy Joel, and the doorbell rang for our guests for this week. They came a week early, and Dan went to.
We had to be here at 10, and they were here like at 8:30 while we're recording.
Yeah. He was gone for 5 minutes, and my story was only 2 minutes long. So
I can't wait to go back and hear how that actually went. That's going to be pretty funny.
That's another reason why I don't listen, because I don't like.
He was narrating my steps. He's coming down the hallway now. He's making a turn. Hey, he's opening the door. Come on, dude. You run a podcast. All right. So since Adam, I think I went on and did my story
you're
in
my
Parliament.
Safety blanket.
Ain't I though? I'm your whoopee.
You're my streaming stick.
So as this story goes during the week, if a song or a tune is played or something reminds you about music in particular, we ask that you bring it in. We ask the other to bring it in and then tell us the little story that goes along with it. I heard this song. It wasn't much of a story, but it kind of brought me back, and I'll tell you why. Because they're connected, but I didn't hear the song that I wanted to hear, which would have then really made this a little bit more accurate. So I'm trying to go here. I'm going to go right there. So this is the song. Tell me if you know it. And of course, Natalie ain't got no. Here, listen. Here, listen to this. Listen. So this song had came on, and I thought, wow, hey, this is. You know who it is? Yeah. So this is Elton John and Kiki D. And Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Let me tell you the story. The first song that I recall hearing that I could pick out the tune, and I remembered the name of the singer, and I remembered the name of the song, was an Elton John song. And it was Crocodile Rock. And it was in the 60s when he made the song. And so when I heard this song, it kind of brought me back to Elton John. And I'm a big music fan. I really like music. I really like music. I enjoy music that I like. And so it just kind of reminded me, oh, that's right. I remember Elton John. But when the song came out, which was in the 70s, he teamed up with a gal named Kiki D for this song. And when I heard it, as a kid, look, I didn't pay attention to sexual orientations when I was a young man. But there were people that they had some rumors about Elton John, that he kind of liked people of the same sex.
I still don't believe them. He is man. He's all man.
He's all man.
He liked streaming sticks.
Yes, he did. You're right. Those were the rumors on the street. When I heard this song, though, listen, he's singing to Kiki D. She was a hottie. Have you ever heard of Kiki D before? Do you know Kiki D?
I've heard this song, and I would have to look her up on the Google image search. I probably have seen her, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was a hottie. She maybe still is. I mean, but for the time, she had a pretty look. And I didn't really know who Kiki D was, so I had to go back and take a look. But anyway, the song, the other song, not this song, this Kiki D, the Kiki D band. I've got the music in me. I'm sorry. And I thought, oh, he's not gay. Look what him and Kiki D. Listen to how he's singing to her. He can't. So it's okay to listen to Elton John from that point on because he didn't break Kiki D's heart.
Well, my song was going to be a George Michael song, and my whole setup was going to be the same exact setup. But so I have to pick a different song now. He's also all man.
We know he doesn't like streaming sticks.
Yeah. Not in public bathrooms. Yeah. Nope, not at all. Those are just rumors.
I'm gonna bring back the P-Funk next week, I think.
So, speaking of streaming sticks.
Man, what a segue. You're on it, Wolfman. All right, your turn, buddy. What do you got for us?
So I don't have much of a backstory for this. I'm going to just start
like I did.
Yeah. Is it okay? There we go.
Backside story.
This is a song. Somebody, I believe it was one of our listeners, Laura Paxton. She posted. I guess she does a podcast, and she's doing an episode on the old MTV show, 120 Minutes. It's like an alternative rock show, and it made me think of this song because that show was out in the 90s when I was in high school, and I had a Discman. That's how old I am. I'm a Discman, and I lived in El Paso, Texas, and my high school was a little less than a mile away from me. And if you lived less than a mile away, the bus wouldn't pick you up. So literally the next block over, there's people out there standing waiting for the bus, laughing at me because I'm walking to school. And this is one of the songs that I used to listen to on my Sony Discman. So it brings back a lot. This is also a band called Tripping Daisy, and they are a Texas band from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So.
Did they do some other songs? I mean, obviously they did. You have to make an LP. You've got to have more than one song.
They had one popular album. This was the number one single off that album. They also did a song called Piranhas, which is pretty good. But that wasn't. I can play that if you want. There's probably going to be an ad.
I think I know that song.
Yeah, there's an ad. We get royalties for this.
You know it. Every one of them.
This is their second single. There may have been other singles, but I think this one's a pretty good song, too. But it just brings back a lot of memories of high school. I was all man back then.
What
happened?
Listened to too much Elton John and George Michael.
He's straight. I'm telling you. And this one's called
Piranhas. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I knew the other song. I'm not sure that I know this one, though. Okay.
Kind of have like pornos for pyros type feel to them. Jane's Addiction kind of.
Pets.
Yeah.
I like Pets.
Yeah.
I think I played that on our iPod Battleship.
Mm-hmm.
Porno for pyros.
Yeah. I couldn't remember who they were. I was calling them Jane's Addiction.
You were.
Over again.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to let our guests join in on the fun, a little song of the week. Just because I like this song and I don't know the other one, I'll start with yours, Lala. You got a song here.
And it's a Judas Priest song, so we don't need to go through it's the same setup. Just joking.
Is it Patty Smythe or Smith? I never.
It's Smythe with a Y.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I was on my road trip this weekend going back home, and this came on, and it's nice because it's winter. And I remember when I was a little kid, I was like 9 when this song came out, and I don't know why this is one of the first songs I ever remember just like really like singing and rocking out to. But I would go outside, like it would come on the radio, and I'd go outside in the yard and just sing it at the top of my lungs. And it reminds me of being like super happy on a cold winter day. And when I was driving home, the weather was perfect, like same kind of thing as when I was a kid. It was cold, it was cloudy, and this song came on.
That's good. We should have a comfort song podcast on One Edition. Comfort. I mean, we all have comfort songs, right? I mean, I know I've got some that you know I just love to blast it, like Phil Collins and the drum solo of "In the Air Tonight." Who doesn't want to blast that? That's a comfort song to me. I wasn't in the front yard singing, but
I was just letting that sink in. Who doesn't want to blast Genesis or Phil Collins?
Everybody does.
We would like to thank him for giving the Alamo back all of its stuff.
That's right.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
That's right.
We're glad it's home. See, I've got to find this. I don't even know if iTunes. Well, it doesn't have their podcast, so
we did a few weeks ago. We did thanks. I think it was thanks to you. We did Ladies in Rock.
That's right. It was.
We forgot Patty Smythe.
Yeah, that's right.
Several. I sent Dan a suggestion that actually frightened him.
Yeah.
That's what I was listening to when I was in high school and college. So I was fun. PJ Harvey.
Did you? Were you emo or were you goth or?
No, I was anything that wasn't mainstream.
I could see it.
I was new wave when I was much younger, and then it kind of just went into just like whatever wasn't.
And of course, we're playing Patti Smythe Warrior. I mean, the exact antithesis of what you would think that.
You guys ever hear the new wave band Steaming the Dutch?
Yes.
That's an inside joke.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the all-time best bands in the world.
It's a girl band, right? Speaking of girl bands. Yeah.
Well, they might have worn eyeliner, but
I meant goat band.
Well, Lala, it's got a good beat and you can dance to it. So thanks for that recommendation. Now I'm gonna let you share your headphones with our next one up. So it's her song. So I think it might make it a little easier if she listens in on.
yes.
And it's probably not good, so it's better that I don't even hear it. I'm just joking.
We should call this the poor excuse for a podcast. You know, Dave in the Cave show is poor excuse for a morning show, which, by the way, I've been listening to 101.7 thanks to his counseling and tutelage. And actually, I'm picking up songs of the week from that. I'm really digging the selection. So. All right, well, here's the next one up, and I started it way into the middle of it, so.
See, you almost have to start it from the very beginning.
And I did.
Awesome. Oh, my gosh. I don't know if I can tell my story. Okay, so here's the thing. A few weeks ago, I was invited to a karaoke party, my very first karaoke party. And
Todd? Was it Todd that invited?
No, Mekaleka.
Happy birthday, Mekaleka. Yeah.
And
She said it was her very first.
I may be planning my own.
Nice.
And I was thinking about all sorts of good.
You should invite us. We won't come to that one either.
Okay.
Wow.
We appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I was just going through the songs that I really like, and I don't know that I would put this in a karaoke song because it has a painfully long intro, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But it's Halloween by Ministry, and Ministry is led by Alan Jorgensen, who now,
he makes that lotion. I like his lotion.
No, he does not. He does not make lotion. But he does live in Marble Falls. And Texas Monthly did a bio on him. He does. He totally does. He totally does.
River City Grill.
Yeah.
And the pie place. What's that, Blue Bonnet Pie or Blue Bonnet Cafe that has the pies?
Yeah. Right. And, this song is...
Yeah, I've got to have some mistakes for Todd.
This song got me...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do that?
Yeah. Thanks again for drowning me out, Dan. Appreciate it. Really, really class act there. Thanks. No, so I heard this song in college, and this, I don't know that anybody would actually believe this, but I was all goth in college.
I don't believe it.
Very dark.
Wow.
Very, the eyeliner.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Very closely held secret, those pictures. And my friend and I, we would go to a goth nightclub, and they'd play this song and all sorts of similar dark...
Did you have a goth name?
No, I didn't. Okay. You can come up with one if you'd like. I'll add that to the list of my...
I'm on it.
my aliases. And it's a cool song. The interesting thing about this band is they turned from this kind of poppy new wave sound to heavy metal sound, and I wouldn't even call it a metal sound. It was
it was very industrial.
Yeah, really heavy. And some of their stuff, really like I could transition.
Awesome.
Yeah, I could totally transition from this very puppy, almost Depeche Mode-ish style to their heavy industrial sound.
Yeah, he was a huge influence, I think, for Trent Reznor.
Yes.
Al Jorgensen also had a side project. Did you ever listen to the Revolting Cocks?
Hey, wait, we can't say that on iTunes.
Wait, I thought it was Revolving Cocksuckers.
No. The Revolting Cocks.
Yeah.
Very, very fun music. You should check them out, too.
Yeah.
Well,
Al Jorgensen was the guy from the Jazz Singer. I couldn't hear. You had the headphones, so I couldn't hear the song.
You couldn't wait for that one, could you?
Jazz hands, everybody, jazz hands.
Going out on tour.
The Bay City Rollers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got that somewhere.
The Bay City Rollers are making a comeback. SATURDAY.
We should have
S-A-T.
The Bay City Rollers say they're going back on tour, not because they need the money. It's for the love of the
Because
music.
of the demand.
For the love of their...
The love of the
Tens of millions of letters they get every day demanding they go
Bring back the Bay City.
Dear, that's what Dan is the reason why. He wrote a letter to the Bay City Rollers. Dear Bay City Rollers, please make a comeback and go on tour.
We need some prep for a show.
We need show prep, and Hall & Oates is just not cutting it.
Yeah.
Ever
Everybody.
since Oates cut his mustache.
Everybody remembers sitting around on Saturday night, stomping their feet to this song.
Speaking of roller skating, good Lord,
In the 70s or whenever this came out, every radio station would play this like on Saturday night.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you would be home alone and thinking that everybody was out partying and just living it up, and you thought, how come
You cry yourself to sleep.
Are we getting an insight into how Dan spent his SATURDAY
yes, quite often.
Pre-car
Every time
days?
I heard it on a Saturday, I knew that I was, unless I was in the club.
Would you close your eyes,
glow.
turn the lights on and off really quickly, and pretend you're at a club?
No, I would do this with my hands.
Put your,
I would just over my eyeballs, and I'd see fireworks.
Put your leisure suit. Leisure suit on.
I was so poor. That's
He put on his junior leisure suit and dance around his room.
with my roller skates on. Actually,
You'd roller skate
I'd
around
roller
your
skate
bedroom.
around my bedroom.
One of these days, I'm going to
in
go
my
out there.
underwear, singing
Until
to
Roxanne came on,
Roxanne.
yeah.
thank
And
you.
You would call the radio station and
beat you to the
request.
punch.
You'd call the radio station and request Bay City Rollers.
Yes.
And the guy would say, "Stop calling me!
Fist pump. I was that kid. Sure
You're
enough.
that guy from the CB radio, aren't you?
I am.
Are you the goat?
I'm well known in
I'm the
some
goat.
circles.
I'm the goat. Play Bay City Rollers. What's that song? You could never remember the name of the song. It's
about a day of the week.
It's about a day of the week.
it's Sunday.
They spell
Sunday
it out.
afternoon.
Tuesday. TUESD. No, that's not it. Oh, God damn it. Play Chicken Man. Do you play Chicken Man? He's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Son, we don't.
Moody Blues?
It's Saturday night. What's the name? I can't remember that song. Son, it's Saturday night. No, that's not it. That's just what day it is. Quit calling here.
Yeah, KFXM.
Wolfman Jack.
You called in Wolfman Jack. All right, who's on the phone with the Wolfman? Hey, it's Dan.
It's the Goat Man.
It's the Goat Man. Hi, Wolfman Jack. Oh, not you again. God damn it, don't request that Bay City Roller song because you can never remember the title of it. That's right, I want to hear it's a day.
Radar Love, please, man.
Would you rather hear Monday by the Mamas and the Papas? No, that's not the correct day. It's another day of the week.
What other days of the week songs are there? Dave's mind is churning through them all.
Oh, there's Friday's on my mind.
Manic Monday.
Manic Monday, Friday's on my mind.
All right, guys.
Sunday,
it's
Bloody Sunday.
that
Friday, I'm
time.
in love.
How come Thursday never gets a week? Hello, is this thing on? Can you hear me in the back? Dan, stand-up comedian.
Here we go.
How come Thursday never gets a song? I got a thought.
Counting down.
Dan put one finger up. I got a thought.
I'm trying to use hand signals, but 1 minute.
God damn.
All right, well, that was good. All right, bye.
Stop with whatever you're
I
talking
didn't
about.
want to just put the brakes on like I always do.
So,
So I was
yeah.
trying something a little different.
Rest in peace, Renaissance Records, which was torn down, and now it's a Starbucks.
It got moved to a different location. I don't think it lasted very long.
No, it did not. The sign's still up, but it's empty.
This week, the last video store in my town is having a going out of business sale.
Oh, good.
It's 2015.
Wow.
Retiring is what it says.
You can buy 35 copies of Hot to Trot with Bobcat Goldthwait.
I didn't know the video business was so good that you can earn a retirement. Yeah.
All that porn money Dan spent.
Yeah.
Behind the beaded curtain.
All right, Dave. Close us out, Dave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Taco Tuesday for this week and probably for many, many, many weeks. So enjoy this episode over and over. There's my co-host, Adam Wolf.
Hi.
Dan the Man. Elder. Say something, Dan. Say goodbye, Dan.
Bye, everybody.
And Dave in the Cave. And we'll see you next week on Taco Tuesday.
Can you play Saturday night?
SATURDAY night. I can't remember what the name of the song is, though. Oh, stop calling me, baby.